Welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS Soaps, both the young and the restless, and the bold and the beautiful. This is your bold and the beautiful recap for September 9th. And today, the Logan sisters rally behind Brooke with this whole custody of Douglas. Finn visits with Lee and is spied on by Sheila Carter. And Taylor and Brooke have a run-in at the office, and they both give each other the business. So before we unpack all of this, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and please don't forget to like and share. So we're over at Forrester Creations, and Thomas is admiring the gown that Zende had designed, which is being modeled by Paris. Now Taylor comes in and she is enthusiastic over the dress. Zende is smiling like a Cheshire cat, and Taylor asks if she's interrupting, and Thomas assures her it's a great time. Brooke is not here. And Paris tells Taylor that Ridge isn't here either, but she does explain that she's there to see her son and, hugs Thomas. Now, she asked about Douglas and Thomas and explains that Steffi took him and Kelly to a pottery class. Taylor is glad that he's getting to spend so much time with the Forrester family. So we're now over at Brooke's place, and she and Katie are gushing over Donna being back together with Eric moving into the Forrester mansion. Donna is like, it is so much sweeter this time around. And she's glad for Brooke too, especially since Ridge is home where he should be. Now, Brooke has been kind of about the fact that he's been spending a lot of time with his ex-wife and kids over at Eric's. Now, Donna is like, yeah, he's been coming around a lot lately. And, she would have insisted that Brooke be invited to that last dinner had she been there. Brooke feels like Taylor is using Finn being back to drive a wedge between her and Ridge. Okay, so I thought it was Douglas they were using. Now it's Finn. Make up your mind, Brooke. So we're now over at the Cliff House, and Lee is visiting with Finn and baby HAYES, and she figures that life must be a lot better without all of the extra security around now, since they no longer have to worry about SHEILA. So they think. Now Lee gets HAYES to sleep and rejoins Finn, and they're gushing about the blessing of them spending time with their baby. Now, it breaks her heart to know that he almost lost his father because of SHEILA. No, because of your wife. And they sit and talk, and Lee is marveling over Finn having this whole big family now. Now, Finn, on the other hand, was like, I never really thought too much about his birth mother, SHEILA, while he was growing up. And Lee adds, yeah, until SHEILA came into our lives. So now we're over at Deacon's apartment. He catches SHEILA mooning over a photo of Finn and warns, you know how you get. And he went on about her still only having 9 toes. SHEILA throw him a little grin, and she tells Deacon that she'll never stop dreaming of the day she gets to hold her son again. Deacon reminds her that you got to remember everybody thinks that you're dead, including your son Finn. Now, when Deacon has to leave, Sheila's complaining about being left alone there once again with her thoughts. Now, Deacon knows that she can't imagine a life without Finn and HAYES, but that's how it has to be, and it's killing her. I need this connection with my family. This is SHEILA. Now, Deacon is urging her to kind of channel all that into something else. SHEILA wants to hold her grandson. Deacon reminds her that you convinced everybody that you was eaten by a bear, and warns no more risky stunts. Stay here. He leaves. SHEILA frowns. Walking to the mirror, SHEILA glances at her disguise sitting on the table. Then back to herself in the glasses, she seemed to kind of put together this old sorted plan. So, back over at Forrester Creations, Taylor is teasing about wanting to purchase Zende's design, but Paris is joking that, oh no, you're going to have to fight me for this one. Now, Zende thinks he may be able to hook both of them up. Zende and Paris, they take off and leave together. Taylor remarks on Thomas getting along with his cousin at work, and they just all seem like one big happy family. Thomas goes over work being great and him bonding with Douglas. And then, Taylor is telling him, nah, don't worry about Brooke. She doesn't get to dictate what happens with her grandson, which is true. So back over at Brooke's place, she's declaring that this whole Forrester versus Logan stuff is absolutely exhausting. That's because you're making it a big thing, Brooke. Katie thinks that, they're taking things to the extreme. She is absolutely correct on your sister's side of things. Now, Brooke is complaining about Taylor's fantasy of getting Ridge back and is fuming, that poor Douglas is caught in the middle. Oh. Now, Katie is, of course, not happy to hear that the boy is still with Thomas when he was supposed to be there only one night. This is just not okay. Oh my God, this is crazy. Now, Brooke doesn't like Thomas having so much influence over Douglas. It's his son, Brooke. Katie guesses Ridge has total confidence in his son. Of course he does. And Brooke says, and like she agrees with me, she said he does, which is why she has to be careful that this doesn't become a problem for them. Which answers your question, Brooke. Is not them coming in between your marriage, is you coming in between your marriage, because that's his son and his grandson. So Brooke enters the office over at Forrester Creations, finding Taylor sitting behind the desk fondling a picture of Ridge. Brooke looked dead at her and said, just when I thought it was going to be a good day. So back over at the Cliff House, Finn is giving his mom credit for surviving the wrath of SHEILA. Now, Lee flashes black through the entire ordeal, and Finn marvels that, she lived through all of it. Lee couldn't leave him with SHEILA. You still needed me. And then Finn sums it up that said that they cheated death and prevailed over the toxic SHEILA Carter. We don't have to be afraid of her anymore. And they're embracing. The one that they're talking about, SHEILA, is actually looking through their window in disguise. And she's just watching from outside that patio door. Now, SHEILA steps away, and Finn is telling Lee he couldn't have asked for a more dedicated mother. Everything he holds dear to his heart is possible again because of her. Now, Lee assures him that there's nothing that he wouldn't do for her. She loves to see him with his family, and recap that SHEILA tried to snatch that all away and paid the ultimate price. I hope she is rotting in hell. And then Finn reiterates that they'll never have to deal with her ever again. Finn go ahead and walks her to the car, and they head out the front door. So at the patio door, SHEILA looks in again and watches Finn come back in and ends up holding a fussy HAYES. Now, the phone ring. He sets the baby back in the playpen, and after telling the caller on the phone he needs to go get his laptop, this is where SHEILA thinks, oh, my darling HAYES, and she hates being kept away from him and his father. This is when SHEILA opens up the door, tiptoes in as Finn talks on the phone in the other room. She decides to crouch down beside the playpen and stroke the boy's hair as she asks the little boy, do you want to come to Grandma? Yikes. Now, over at Forrester, Taylor informs Brooke that Ridge isn't in the office right now and teases that she doesn't seem happy to see her. Brooke complains about the whole thing with Douglas not coming home from that latest Forrester family soiree. His home is with Hope, Liam, and Beth, and him being away for days is unacceptable. Now, Taylor says Hope still gets to see him, and Thomas has a lot of time to make up with Douglas. Brooke doesn't want anything to escalate, but Taylor informs her, and it's a little late for that. And she's still, cleaning the paint out of her ears. Now, Brooke has been trying to reach Taylor as a mother and as a psychiatrist, but she doesn't feel that she's getting through to her. So she decides to give her the smoke and say, you know what, let me be a little bit more direct with you. This campaign to take Douglas away from his mother, from his home, to take Ridge away from his wife and our home stops today. Do you understand? Taylor, all she does is just shake her head. And they left us with this whole cliffhanger. Okay, so there you have it, your recap for The Bold and the Beautiful for Friday, September 9th, 2022. If you haven't checked out the Young and the Restless recap for today, it has already been uploaded to this channel. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.